It's just a non-stop day of goodies, of all kinds of fandom entertainment. Guys, we are gonna watch today. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has dropped the Black Adam official trailer. Called Coy at 5:45 in the morning, like, hey man, working on Obi-Wan, but I think this Dwayne Johnson Black Adam movie's coming. The trailer's coming in like 15 minutes, man. And he just showed up here, so thank you, Coy, for being here. He knows the Black Adam comics really well. Wouldn't want to do this without him. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Please leave a like if you can. This video today is sponsored by Storyblocks. Partnering up with them has been absolutely wonderful. A lot of people say this, you know, supporting them supports the channel, and that's just a common phrase, but it really does, because we've been hiring a lot more people to help out around with the channel lately. Example A, and all that kind of partnering goes to help partner with people like him. So thank you, Storyblocks. More on them after the trailer, and of course stick around for Coy's thoughts after, because he's gonna have a lot to say, because he's Coy. Even when he's tired, Coy has a lot of thoughts. Coy thoughts.
Black Adam, what have your powers ever given to you?
Not that.
Huh.
I was a slave until I died.
Wow.
Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me.
Here's like a little pointer.
Now, I kneel before no one. In this world, they're heroes.
Wow.
Oh, that's gonna be
They're villains. Heroes don't kill people. Well, I do.
Oh, dang. Interesting.
My vision has shown me the future. You have two choices. You can be the destroyer of this world,
God damn.
or you can be its savior. That's up to you.
Behind you! Whoa!
Did he just catch a rocket?
He got a rocket.
Interesting array of tones.
Oh man. Wow, that was a pretty epic ass trailer. My goodness.
Jay-Z at the end, not mad at it.
That was epic. I feel like that moment with the planes was kind of a jab at Iron Man to show that he is not the hero. Where Iron Man were like, let me hang on the planes, and he was like, the fuck this. Yeah.
Also, the Dr. Fate mirroring Doctor Strange parallels. There's going to be a lot of interesting commentary, because technically JSA is the first superhero team ever.
The Justice Society of America, Glenn?
Yes, the Justice Society of America from the 1940s. But they're the first team, so I think there's gonna be a lot of interesting conversation about like what's referencing what and what's referencing the comic books. This is what's like popular in the world, and also from the looks of this, I mean, The Rock's been wanting to make this for 11 years. This is like his Deadpool to Ryan Reynolds. It's a long run to get here, and as such, I do think the script has improved and things have evolved. So the movie that he wanted to make can now exist because of technology. But it's interesting where we don't have a Superman really right now in the DC universe, so we have this anti-hero that has a lot of Superman parallels. So I actually get more of like a darker alternate universe Earth 2 Superman vibe than necessarily even like a Shazam spinoff. Obviously this ties into the Shazamily and that whole world. I think Shazam 2 and this are going to come together for a third thing, but this gave me a lot of Superman vibes personally.
Wow. Sounds like that the journey Dwayne Johnson has had along the way is quite a lot of blocks he's had to overcome. It's quite a
the story.
Hey.
He's had to tell.
Guys, that reminds me of something.
What's that, John?
This thing. Thank you to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video.
Being the cinematic artisans we obviously are, we are always in search of ways to make our videos look better, faster, and most of all, for cheap.
Cheap is good! And if you're a content creator or filmmaker or anything in between, you're probably in a similar position.
It's tough to get your content looking as good as it can be without breaking the bank or burning yourself out in the process, which is why I heavily encourage you guys to check out what Storyblocks has to offer.
Cheap is good!
Do you feel like this is their way of telling us that the videos could be looking better?
Yes. Whether it's the credibility of an exotic establishing shot, the soothing comfort of the perfect music bed, or just the satisfaction of increasing your graphical capability.
Storybox has an incredibly inclusive and diverse library of faces, places, sounds, titles, transitions, filters, and effects.
And more.
Over 1 million assets, royalty-free, and available for personal and commercial use with your membership.
Sounds so affordable.
It is quite affordable. They have multiple subscription levels to suit your exact needs, whether you're an independent indie solo creator or a whole team.
So if you want to learn more, head on down to our link in the description box and get started. That's at storyblocks.com/rejects. Now, back to the video. Thank you again to Storyblocks for partnering up with us this month. Seriously, this guy cost a fortune.
A fortune.
A fortune.
Every word.
Every penny.
Yeah. Diatribe.
Capitalism. He's the only one we've hired.
Capitalism is great. I don't know what this is a product of that.
Yeah, I'm not as obviously as familiar as you when it comes to Black Adam. I've read like the Shazam comics where he is the villain in that. Games and seeing animated movies where Black Adam he's working along with the heroes because he has to because of this what's at stake. But I've never actually read anything where he is just a pure anti-hero. To my understanding, he does eventually have his own run where he is just pure anti-hero. I feel like this is only anti-hero though. I don't get the sense of him being truly a villain. It seems like it's doing that comic book movie thing. Not quite what Sony does. Seems like they're going a little bit more wrestling attitude with it, and I kind of like that. Kind of wish though, because you know, it's like you get some of these images here that look like they gotta be from Conduct.
That's like his domain, kind of like Dr. Doom's Latveria.
Yes,
and I think this is gonna be, I've always seen him as like a Dr. Doom meets Superman. And that's what I got a lot from this trailer. We haven't really seen an on-screen Dr. Doom really. So I think it'll be interesting to see how audiences adjust to someone that they don't always like the choices that are made, but you always like The Rock. Like his inherent charm and charisma, I think is gonna sell. Yeah, like there's not gonna be a moment where you're rooting against him, even if he's doing, you know, unspeakable things. Sure. And I do think like there's a child that pops up in this trailer a few times with a star in his shirt. He's protecting him a couple
times. Smash that kid's head in.
That is the enemy. No, but I do think we're gonna see him like go from that. I feel like that kid's gonna be the reluctant. Okay, I'm gonna help this kid. Like he's gonna be like, this you're a bother, and then evolve into like protecting. And I think we're gonna see a lot of those arcs where we're like, okay, the JSA, the first might be kind of corralling him into doing things, and eventually he does them on his own, like as a journey. So I think the JSA is inherently good. He's inherently bad, and that kind of meets a middle ground.
Okay, so that's why we're getting characters like Adam and Hawkman.
Yeah, because like, I mean, I've been wanting to see Aldous Hodge as a superhero for a long time. That dude steals every movie he's in, and Hawkman is a very important character. He's got his own planet. There's a lot of stuff going on with the more cosmic scale of DC. We're gonna see this expand out, and I think Hawkman is a really great gateway into that world, into otherworldly characters, because the Thanagarians, it's hard to say in the morning. The Thanagarians are a really noble breed of warrior that will tie into where I think we can bring the DC universe and making it feel bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think this is a great start to that.
True. I remember when we first saw the Black Adam footage of the little bits when they had the DC trailer, you were commenting on how it seemed reflective of like a combination of Michael Bay, Zack Snyder, the real godly quality that Snyder was trying to capture. So now that we saw a full trailer, Humphrey, what'd you think?
I'm really excited to return to the world of the Scorpion King. I think this is going to really top the first one. No, it definitely gave me that Gods Among Us quality that I feel like is signature to DC, especially as compared to Marvel. This was an interesting blend of tones. I feel like for the first chunk of the trailer, you had this unified tone, and then you get kind of like a joke bit, and then you get, you know, kind of you have your action, your superhero requisite stuff, but then you have some more like psychedelic things like you alluded to, with things kind of broaching even on Doctor Strange imagery. So I'm excited and curious to see how they're going to set separate some of these characters who do have similar counterparts in other universes, and just to see what this amounts to in terms of its relation to Earth, because what I got from this trailer is a lot of godly characters doing a lot of things here. And I don't know, I'm curious to see how all of that intermingles, because right now I feel like it could take place kind of anywhere.
How does this tie into Joker 2, Voulez-vous coucher?
I mean, clearly this is the next Todd Phillips joke. Well, what I think is interesting is, you know, we've had the DC universe at large, and it's been shifting, and that's actually, thanks for that tangent. It sometimes feels independent with things like Joker, and also sometimes feels like it's building to a more shared universe. And then also you've got characters like Aquaman and Wonder Woman who have done both, been a team member and been singular. This to me feels like it could be kind of the restart. Like, you can really branch out from here because you're bringing in the first superhero team. You can make their own solo movies. You've got a different kind of...
It's the first time I've ever heard that this could be the restart of the
I
DC
feel like
universe.
the hierarchy of power is about to change.
Oh, of
in
course.
this.
They've confirmed that he has like Superman plus level power.
But do you know what I mean? Like, where DC could go, okay, post Flashpoint, this is really good timing for this jumping on point. As you're speaking of tone, I think The Rock's got a very specific kind of film where he has his humor, his action, and those things. And this looks like a blend of what the DCEU, whether or not they keep it that way, and The Rock movies would look like combined. And I think that's a net positive for DC building out into having, like Marvel does, different styles of movie. Like, you've got, you know, everybody talks about it ad nauseum, Guardian Space Opera, Ant-Man Heist, etc., etc. A rock genre is very popular. It's going to do very well, and I think it's a good way to bring people back into the fold. You already see, like, DC Easter eggs being planted here, which is kind of why I was speaking of the shared universe, like the name of the electronics store on the truck, and I do think we're going to see a lot of him expanding into his domain. Like, there's a lot you can do with The Rock being a protector that would allow us to be like, I guess he can make that bold choice.
Do you think The Rock will actually be somewhat of an anti-hero, or will he maintain his clean-cut, family-friendly image?
I mean, we see someone get murked pretty quickly in the trailer. We also see, you know,
I think that's about it.
You think that's it?
I feel like you're probably right.
I think, well, you see him, like, vaporize dude in that earlier footage. We see him, like, you know, turn that guy to dust.
I mean, DC's a little more bold.
I feel like The Rock is gonna push it too. Like, he's loved this, again, for over a decade.
And why didn't he do the accent?
Because they might have tested it and that worked. Like, people might be so familiar
They
with The Rock.
reshot the whole movie.
No, but people might be so familiar with
ADR.
The Rock that hearing The Rock with an accent might have turned people off. Like, if you know an actor to that
Like
level,
in the Scorpion.
like in the Scorpion King. But no, like, if it's The Rock's DC movie, I think they're leaning into The Rock. You know what I mean? So maybe they don't want him to be doing a thing other than being The Rock. Like, that portrayal is what they wanted, I'm guessing.
All I know is that when I moved closer to you, I was like, we can get these videos up faster.
Yeah.
And now, knowing how much talking has been done,
You've asked me many questions.
I'm going to get this up
By
later than any other video we've ever done.
anyone you want. Here we are. You know what's great? It took 11 years for The Rock to get this out. We're going to get this out in at least 11 hours.
Yeah, that's right, baby. No, Coy, thanks for being here. Yeah, we're on an all-nighter. You at least got 2 hours.
2 hours of sleep.
So, you carried us through. Once again, we ride on your back.
Read some Dr. Fate comics. I think those would be the ones that are going to be the hardest to really, like, navigate. By the word.
We gotta end.
But they're great. Dr.
I
Fate
shouldn't
comics are
have told
fantastic.
you that you can increase
Thank
your
you.
commission by,
Yeah, by the
whatever
word.
you
A lot
want.
of Brian Michael Bendis Black Adam appearances. I think are
sponsoring
going to
this
really
video.
inform
We
this.
gotta-
the Justice
we gotta-
League things.
I gotta
Black Adam's
edit
anti-hero
next
stuff.
time.
I gotta-
Beautiful art by
I
David
gotta
Marquez.
edit.
Love the David
Hit the
Marquez art.
like.
I think it's really important.
There's a door right there.